Mama has come. Has come.
Good evening, everyone. I'm moderator Mehjabeen Choudhary. So today we are back on the episode 9 of poetry reading sessions. So today our guest is a very special lady, Barnana Acharjee. Ma'am, I welcome you today to this platform and to say here that she is my teacher and she has been my teacher right from class 6 and I know her since I was very young. She's an animal lover. She has been working as a teacher in many institutions and she is also a good writer as far as I know. Ma'am, please give us your brief introduction.
You have already said, but you have said a bit too much, I suppose. First of all, I would love to say that this student of mine is really a sweet little girl, and she's a multi-talented girl. I wish you all the best in your life. Go ahead, progress in life. I'll be the happiest person. As far as to say about myself, well, I try to be a good person. I don't know how far I can be. Yeah, animals, they are my weakness, I should say. And I spend a lot of time with them. And students, of course, they are my first love. Rest, yeah, of course, they come in and go, like writings or anything, they come in and go. I'm a teacher, by profession, a teacher, and that's it. Nothing much.
Okay, so to add in here, I would also like to tell ma'am is a fantastic storyteller and she is a good reciter. She does good, excellent recitations. I learned from her a lot. I used to see the expression she used to give in class. She has worked in many institutions from Maharshi Vidya Mandir, Srimanta Shankar Academy, and she is an excellent English teacher. So, ma'am, I'm actually very overwhelmed because you are the one from whom I learned English, from whom I learned to speak, the one who taught me to be confident. And today I'm here interviewing you. I mean, it's a very pleasure thing for me. Uh, I'm really happy
No
today. And
shame,
actually, I told my
I'm more
mother
happy.
also. I
I'm
told my
more
mother
happy.
that
No
I'm
worries.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I
I
told my
have
mother
my
I'm
student
interviewing
in front
Barnana
of
ma'am
me.
today. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It's the happiest moment
Okay.
for me as a teacher, seeing my student right in front of me, talking to my student.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, I already know that you're a poet. You're a wonderful poet, of course. And I used to always show you my poems also, so I know you are an excellent poet. So I would love to hear the first poem
So,
from you.
okay, let's think about it. I'll need my spectacles. I've grown old. Without spectacles, I can't do it. Let's start with it. Let's see what we got. My poems actually they are like long ones. They are quite long ones. They are in the form of a ballet, you can say, a storyline behind, and they are definitely quite long. Okay, I would love to recite this one. It's actually about discovering the beauty of the night. Normally poets they go with nature during the daytime. So about night we hardly know, but night also has its own beauty. Darkness also has its own beauty. So this is something like that. Well, you'll need to have patience. Wherever you feel like it's going too long, you can cut me short. Okay.
No, ma'am, we have the
Okay,
whole
I
day
start with
for
it.
you. We are here. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, the title goes Discovering the Beauty of the Night. The night was dark, the moon was pale. The stars followed the moon like a tail. I thought of taking a walk in the lane, although my heart was still in pain. I loved the night wind as I walked, because the day's work had gotten some. I thought about the little kids who in their beds were cozily tucked. I too wanted my bed to hug, but it seems sleep had put in my bed some bugs. Sleep and I have a tussle every night, but I too decided to put an end to this fight. I had decided not to go too far, but the night had something that attracted me to her. At the end of the lane was a flowing stream, so I sat down by it in the moonlight beam. I always thought nature in the dark had no beauty, but here I was discovering its new bounty. Who says the darkness is only to fear when there are so many things that also need care? At a distance, I could see the fireflies glow. It helped my spirit not to get too low. They lit up the whole place so bright that I did not feel lonely in the darkness of the night. Who can say that beauty is only in daylight? Of course, here I was witnessing the dancing night lights. The music of the day I felt was the only music that could make hearts melt. But as I sat by the rippling waters, the night's music made me wonder. I couldn't believe that nocturnal insects had also a sense of rhyme so correct. The crickets with their chirping after a successful mating, and the high pitched lips of the tiny katydids, combined with the sounds of the ripples sucked, produced a music of the heavens above. The fusion created an awesome aura, and I couldn't stop myself from tapping to this musical plethora. The buzzes, chirps, clicks, and chicks increased as the night grew deep. And the night was so wonderful, I did want to enjoy it to the full. I did not feel like returning back because its beauty was perfect. But I knew I had to return and give my life, sorry, and give my life a new turn. And also tell the world about the ravishing beauty of the dark. So sorry, I had the background music there. Thank you.
That was really beautiful, ma'am. But I already know that you're a night owl. You stay up till late. I know if you anyone gives a ring to ma'am even at 2 a.m., she'll pick it up because I know she's not asleep. And ma'am, we just want to assure you, your angel is not a problem at all. That was a really beautiful poem, ma'am. But still, I want to ask you, what attracts you so much towards night? Because you always used to say that sometimes you just wake up in the middle of the night and ma'am, you are actually attracted towards the night. It's okay, ma'am. That's a background music.
That's
Ma'am,
why I
I'm still
actually told I avoid
no, ma'am.
night
It's fine.
sessions.
It's
I
okay.
avoid for this reason.
No, ma'am. That's fine. Ma'am, just tell us what attracts you towards the night so much because I know you're a night lover.
The silence. The silence attracts me, like silence of the night. That's beautiful. That has something that is really, really attractive. Of course, morning hours of the early hours of the morning. That is also very pleasant. It's all about the silence that I'm in love. Absolute silence, the stillness of the dark. In the darkness, also, you find there is something beautiful there. It's not always the dark is, something evil or something like that. Darkness, if you are good, there is no evil around you. Evil is there when there is something bad inside. That's it. We all say that, darkness of the night, evil characters come out, evil things, deadly things. Nothing. Although, yeah, of course, I do tell horror stories. I love it. You know that. But at the same time, darkness is not always associated with you. We can't associate darkness always with evil. It has its own beauty, it has its own charm, it has its own, and that is what, especially the silence that attracts me more. Absolute stillness of the night, that attracts me more.
Okay. Ma'am, you actually answered to my second question also. I was actually about to ask this. As most people say that when you love darkness, you're basically isolating yourself. I remember once being told by someone that students' life should be full of colors and sunshine. Why do you love staying in dark? So I think, ma'am, you completely disagree with them.
Yeah, of course. See, darkness is not a curse. Darkness is a part of our life. If there is darkness, you will know the charm of light more. If there is only light and light and light and light in your life, you'll never know the charm of light. So a little bit of darkness is always essential. That adds spice to your life. And darkness, as I said, it's not something bad. If you are bad, then even in the light you will be bad. So it's all about what is there inside you and how you feel about it. If you want to see beauty in the dark, you can definitely see beauty in the dark also. It's all about what is there in your mindset. That's it.
Okay. I feel like I'm in the English class today. Back to class 8.
Yeah, I think 3 years, isn't it? Class 7 I met
Ma'am,
first.
yes.
Uh,
Ma'am, class 8, we had our last class. And after that, online.
uh, Class 10 I didn't got you online or
Online, class 10
no?
online.
Oh, no, online, okay.
Online.
It's COVID time
Okay,
spoiled with
well, then
everything.
we'll move on to the next poem. Ah, it's really beautiful hearing to you. I feel like you're explaining the poems like you used to do, Robert Frost and all those poets. I miss it so much.
They are good, you know. Where are they and where am I? Just a little bit of inspiration I get from them here and there sometimes.
But I love the way you elaborate every line. Just like you said that you need darkness to spice up your life. That's a really beautiful line. I'm going to put it.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Definitely. You need that. Everything needs, you know, variation is always required in life. Life cannot be always, you know, a bed of roses. If there are no thorns, you'll not enjoy the roses. Yeah, I don't say life should be full of thorns. One, two thorns, that actually, you know, adds to the charm of your life. Beauty of your life increases there.
Yes, definitely, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, we would love to hear the second poem from you. I just hope you're ready with the second poem and then after that, explanations.
Yeah. Okay, second poem actually is one which I don't think so you all got it. It's actually a poem from you can say from class 10th standard only, CBSE course it was. The Frog and the Nightingale. So based on that one, like one day when I was explaining it in the class, like coming back, I don't know, you know, something there was a spark in my mind, and like you know, all of a sudden I felt why not, you know, compose a poem to that. It's just a running this thing of that particular poem related to that one. It's a frog and the nightingale, where you know the frog, Mr. Frog, is there. He has a very coarse voice, and the nightingale has a sweet voice. I'll tell first about the poem, then I'll start with my one. So, Mr. Frog with a coarse voice, Nightingale with a sweet voice. Mr. Frog gets jealous of the Nightingale, makes her sing again and again, again and again. And you know, the Nightingale is a little bit foolish type of bird. She gets into, she thinks that the frog is really guiding her. Finally, it's the death of the Nightingale. Frog becomes once again the lone singer of Binglebog. Binglebog, that was the place where the frog used to live. So I actually was explaining it to them when all of a sudden, you know, it just stuck to my mind. Could it be that frog, you know, the frog prince? Do you remember? There's a story, fairy tale, frog prince.
Ma'am, we
It
had. We
seems
didn't
like you
have.
don't remember the story. No, you didn't have it, but it's a fairy tale where there's, you know, the frog turns into a prince. There's this lady, this when I
Oh,
he
oh,
gets a
yes, yes,
curse
ma'am. I
and he's
think it was there, I think, in the Rapid Reader.
yeah, maybe, but it's just a fairy tale like Cinderella and others. So, you know,
Yes,
somehow
yes,
that
yes, got
one
it.
struck into me and I thought, you know, and my next poem is that only. It's a date with Mr. Frog. So, with that, Binglebog, the frog from Binglebog, and I actually went for a date with Mr. Frog. The poem goes such. Last evening, as I walked beside a pond, a big fat frog came croaking along. It took its place majestically on a log and started speaking out just like a thug. I jumped back as it gave me a scare, but it spoke back to me with an air. My eyes grew big as I heard it speak. I pinched myself to check if I were fit. It then spoke in a voice so hoarse and fat that I just got scared like a rat. You spoke about me in your class yesterday, and so I thought of meeting you today. You spoke so highly of me that I instantly fell in love with thee. And so I left my Bengal bog to find me a new home by this law. Taken aback by this sudden outburst, I checked on me if I were still on this earth. Finding no reason for disbelief, I gave in to my belief. Thought I, could it be the frog prince of the fairy world? But oh, come on, that was a dream too large. As I just thought of talking further, Mr. Frog saw Miss Froggy in the nearby gutter. And even before I could start a conversation, my frog prince waded away into the water. I cried, "Oh, my frog prince, talk to me!" But Mr. Frog followed Miss Froggy in glee. Mr. and Miss Frog now started croaking, and I stood there by the pond, pondering. Was all this nothing but a fantasy? But whatever it was, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I had a hearty laugh before I started back, realizing a fact: to what extent fantasies could carry me away. Yet I loved the date with Mr. Frog, who had come to meet me from Winglebog. Well, believe me if you can. Thank you.
That was a really humorous poem, ma'am. Especially when you said Mr. Frog just went away seeing the Mrs. Frog. That was really funny. Ma'am, did not know that you write such kind of poems also. This is the first time I'm hearing these kind of poems from you.
It's just, a passing phase. Sometimes something comes to the mind and I just jot it down. That's it. Seriously, I've
Definitely,
never sat down,
definitely.
but it comes and I just jot it down somewhere and then finally it becomes a poem.
Okay. Ma'am, I just want to know one thing from you. Ma'am, we all
Yeah,
have our own favorite topics in which we love writing poems, and I don't know what's your favorite topic. What is the topic in which you write poems the most, or you love writing poems on that topic?
it's actually, well, if you ask me that way, I started writing or composing poems at a very bad phase of my life. So, maybe that was the time when I realized that I could compose also. It was like, I let my heart flow out because I couldn't speak to anybody. I couldn't share my secrets with anybody. Everything was stuck up inside me. So, as you have read in entrance, if you have seen, paper has more patience than people. So I decided to jot down everything on the paper because the paper would never ask me anything back. So that's when I started. It was all about human relationships, emotions, sentiments. It started off that way. Then slowly, when I started coming out of that bad phase, well, then I started composing some good ones. I feel now when I read it, I feel, oh, really? Did I compose it? So it's something like that. Basically, it's nature, the world of animals, love, of course, love, care, affection. Humor is always there. They attract me. And if you ask me, who whose poems do you like more? Of course, Wordsworth, the nature poet. Nature poets, basically. Frost is there. Then, of course, Tennyson also is good. Keats. Nature poets, basically the nature, the romantic era. I'm into the flow of, always into the world of fantasies. You see now, I was teaching Mr. Frog in the
Romanticism.
class, and
Hmm.
romanticism, the world of fantasy, always into that. I was teaching, explaining class 10, Mr. Frog, and there, there itself it came to my mind that it might be the frog prince, you never know. But, world of fantasies is there only in our mind. So Mr. Frog went away with Miss Froggy, and I was left alone once again.
I know, ma'am. I know that of yours that you're very imaginative. Like you think beyond the boundary, and it's very difficult to think beyond the boundary, but you do that. I have experiences of hearing some supernatural stories from you, and at the end of the day, you always used to say, "See, if there is light, there is darkness too." So I remember that
Yes, of course.
saying when I think when I was in class 7. Yes, Yes, I remember. So definitely, I know that very
Ah,
well. But then, when
that's
I
it.
have
What
also
is life
heard love
actually?
poems from you. I have also heard love poems from
Ah,
you, and I can see clear emotions also there. It's really beautiful to write, see the poems. And I also remember I used to show you my poems, and you used to tell me that this line I think you need to change, and this line also. I used to see the modifications, and I used to do that because you're a great poet, of course, and every line you try to rhyme it. That's very fabulous.
yeah, that is one thing which I actually love. Like, I feel poems should have a rhythm in it, and hence I try to rhyme it off. At times, I'm not successful, but I do try that. But I feel, then a rhythm will come if I can rhyme it off. And of
Yes,
course,
ma'am,
you're a great
definitely.
poet. Why don't you also recite some of your poems? They're very good. I read them.
Well, my poems I've already recited in one of the session. Now it's I want to hear another poem from you.
Okay, okay,
We want to move on to the third poem, please.
okay. Well, again, it's like, what should I say? An inspiration type, you can say. Oh, the world of rhymes inspires me a lot. So, this is actually a journey into the world of rhymes. Okay, I hope you'll remember some of your childhood rhymes, your nursery poems, as I'll read this poem. It's the title goes A Memorable Journey to the World of Rhymes. A little prologue I had written before starting the poem. First, I'll read that, then I'll go to the poem proper. Okay? My little children, my little friends, let's go on a journey down the memory lane to the long lost world of rhymes and try to bring a little change. So let's go, give it a twist, and make the world of rhymes go upside down. I start with a poem. Out in the woods one sunny day, I met Little Red Riding Hood on the way. Seeing her alone, I remembered the wolf and told her to move out of the forest soon. I walked past her, and what do I see? Mr. Humpty Dumpty sitting on the wall. I advised him not to sit there, or else he would suffer from a fall. Smiling as I reached a pool, I saw cute Mary going to school. I told her to go back home and tie her lamb, as it would follow her soon. As she kept staring at me in surprise, it shocked me to see three blind mice. I warned them not to go to the farmer's wife, or else she would cut off their tails with her carving knife. Finding the wood so interesting, I curiously moved further in, and as I took a bend to the right, I saw Miss Muffet with her pie. I told her to be aware of a spider that might creep down beside her. And as she ran away in great fear, I met Mr. Baba Blacksheep in good cheer. I asked him to give me some wool. He ran away, making me a fool. Oh my God, I was so thrilled. I failed to express how I feel. As I was still thinking how I had reached this magical world, I was astonished to see Peter and Paul. In their language, they greeted me. Scared, I hid behind a tree. Well, wonders never cease to be. And lo, I saw the mulberry tree. It started complaining to me that it gets a headache seeing the children go round and round about it. I was a little tired by now, So for a while, I decided to stand still. And the surprises would never cease. That very moment, I met Jack and Jill, and I ran to tell them, please do not go up the hill. Exhausted, I thought to take a break and decided to move out of this trek. Through the bushes, I saw a path that perhaps would lead me to the start. I then found myself creeping out through a hole, and as I was out, I found Alice sleeping in the roots. I shook her up and asked her to go home, when suddenly I heard tick tock, tick tock, tick tock of a clock. And then, suddenly, all of a sudden, without any forewarning, I found myself out of the bed falling. Oh, it was a dream after all. But I would really love to go by the stream again, but this time with my cute little friends. A journey into that magical woods again. Thank you.
You almost blended all the poems of all the rhymes of our childhood. We have everything: Humpty Dumpty, Jack and Jill. We had everyone. That was wonderful,
I
ma'am.
just wanted to bring a change in their lives. All of a sudden, this thought came. Poor Humpty Dumpty keeps on falling. So let me go and warn him before. Don't sit on the edge of that wall, you'll fall down again. Jack and Jill, poor, they topple down the hill always. So I thought at least let me go and warn them. Don't go up the hill, you'll fall down once again. I was just
That's
passing
yes,
through.
ma'am.
It
That's
just
what I
comes to the
said. You
mind, and
think yes, ma'am. That's what you think beyond the boundary. Like there are very few people who can like think. I never thought of it. Honestly, ma'am. Just like you are thinking, I never thought of it. I don't think also that many people will think like that. Just change it. Those are rhymes. Like people don't pay attention. But then you wrote a whole poem on it. It's very wonderful, ma'am.
thank you. I'm happy that you liked
Okay,
it.
always, ma'am. I love hearing to you. I'm literally feeling like back to classes now. Anyway, uh, ma'am, I would like to ask you, like, what are your upcoming poems about? I'm sure you're working on a poem.
Right now, well, nothing so much because I'm into, this world of animals. I'm getting more and more attached to that. So I hardly get time to sit back. Recently, well, since in this platform you've asked me if, people see it later on, I would like to, ask for a little help also. My, stray dogs, some of them are there. Like, I have Kalu Baba, I have Kancha Baba, I have Konimoni. These are the different stray dogs, I've given them names. One of them is suffering terribly. It's like, he's suffering from paralysis. So just recently, we have taken him to the hospital, I and one more friend of mine. So we are trying to get him back to his, but then he's old also. I don't know how far he can manage actually. This is actually taking a little bit more of my time. So hence, by the time I come back, I'm too exhausted. So things don't come out. But yeah, definitely, if I would go into further poems, nature will always be there behind at the backdrop. And yes, animal love is always there. So based on them, I would love to compose more poems.
Okay. Ma'am, I know how much you're attached with your dogs, and the one dog you're talking about, I already know. You already told me about because once before I asked you to attend this show, and to everyone watching this, I'd like to add in here, ma'am is a true animal lover. I mean, she just told me she's not well. I thought ma'am might not be well, but later on I got to know no, actually it's a dog of a colony who was not very well, and that's why ma'am just didn't want to attend the show. So I just say, I hope everyone can understand how attached she is with her dogs. I already know that she has two
Yes.
pets. We already got to know in the beginning only. But then even now our
Just
locality,
ask the
the
viewers,
street dogs, and she is so much attached.
ask the viewers if they cannot help monetarily, at least let them pray for them. So that at least,
Yes,
this last stage, I can understand he's in his last stage, but still, it's difficult to accept. At least ask the viewers that they pray for them, so that they get healthy, get enough food. So I can
yes,
at least help them
absolutely.
to give them. Little prayers also always
Absolutely.
help.
Yes, ma'am. So to everyone present here, please pray for Ma'am's Kalu Baba, and I'm sure he'll get well soon. If it's better if he gets well
Thank
soon
you.
because whenever I call Ma'am, I can hear that she's really upset, and I know Ma'am is
Thank
really
you
upset.
so
I
much.
know that. I just hope he gets well and things gets easier at least.
Thank you. Thank you so much, God. God will hear you all more. You all are little wonderful kids. If you all pray, God will hear you more.
Absolutely, ma'am. Sure. Okay, we have come almost to the end of the session, and I know I don't feel like ending this session, and I know I pulled it too long, and I did it intentionally because I had my teacher today. After like 3 years, I'm meeting ma'am, and it's really wonderful for me, and I'm sure we're meeting soon, very soon, definitely.
Yeah,
And
sure, sure.
that's all.
Sure.
We are ending the session. Would you like to say
All the
anything, ma'am?
best before. No, it's just all the best for you for your upcoming future. I just want to see you in one of, as the most successful lady. And for all the
Thank you so
viewers,
much, ma'am.
be happy, give a smile whenever you meet an animal, a stray animal. Give them at least, if you can't, give a loving eye to them. Don't despise them. Don't hate them. That is what I'll say. They are too good, far better than all of us. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. Thank you everyone. Do join, do like, share, and subscribe. Do watch because she is a fabulous lady who has recited three beautiful poems, also unique. We're ending. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sweetheart.